Welcome back to the Watchtower Film Podcast, the film review podcast on the Towercast Network. By cinephiles, for cinephiles.
If we can see it, we'll watch it.
Absolutely.
We can listen to it, we'll hear it. We are back with another episode for our Sci-Fi Month.
Slapped.
It must be
finish this one up.
a wrap.
Wrapped. If it can be slapped, it'll be wrapped.
If it can be wrapped, it'll be tapped.
This is what we
back.
can. This is
This
what
is
we
the
can have
podcast.
these things.
I'm your phone.
Go on.
I got excited. I
Go
fumbled
on.
it.
You fumbled it. I'd like to introduce my fellow co-host before we kick off what film we're covering today. Mr. Jean-Eric Castro, offering an acting perspective.
How you guys doing out there?
Woo!
Hello.
Sorry, normally there's more claps.
Love the slow clap. Mr.
No, I get a
Michael
clap.
Delau, offering a cinematography perspective.
Oh, man.
I'll give you a trumpet class.
Gonna be a night.
It's going to be a night. Yeah, blame it on your COVID vaccine. Who gets a COVID vaccine when they know they have to come record a podcast?
Oh,
Who
the
still gets a
insurance is
COVID
ending
vac?
soon. I need to do everything.
Is it your third one? Your
No,
booster
this
one?
one's like, I just like to get them every now and then just to feel something. No, you know what's funny is that like I told my family, I'm like, wait, didn't we already get like our flu and all that? And they're like, yeah, last year. And I'm like, so I'm good. And they were like, no, like you got to get the booster. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got it. And then I was like, you know what? I've done this a million times. I'll be fine. And then I come here and I'm just
brother.
like,
I remember those.
oh man, every day just hurts.
It's like someone who smokes weed, like, periodically. So it's like, I've done this before.
I'm coming
And then
down.
they're baked out of their minds.
Yeah.
Did you also
Yeah.
get the flu shot?
Yeah, in the same arm. And I feel so dumb because if you know me, you know
That's
that I
'cause
have...
that's the flu shot.
No,
That's
no,
why
no,
you feel
no.
dumb.
If you know me, I have... Like, I always feel like
Take
it's going to be
Tylenol,
a
huh?
nice kick for, like, whoever's doing my shots because I like getting on the right arm, but I have a little chunky rat that's drinking coffee. So it's like, hey, I got to lift up your sleeve, and then she lifts it up, and it's like this little surprise. But nobody ever laughs. They just look at it, and then...
It's like this weird
But
fucking...
they
laugh
acknowledge
inside.
they acknowledge it because whenever they do the shot, they will never aim for the rat, even though it's in the perfect spot. They'll always go like above or around it, like they feel bad.
It'd be cool if they go through the mouth. Eventually, it's gonna make a cool little bump.
Probably not the weirdest tattoo they've seen.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably something like Courtney.
They're laughing at you, not with you, bud.
I know.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
Mr. Rick Rodriguez joining us on the pod
I
again.
love this guy, man.
Rick
the man.
James Rodriguez.
Fellow writer-director.
Fellow.
Rick James, director.
Shake and
Darkness,
bake.
everybody. Darkness.
Darkness. Fuck your couch.
What the five fingers say to the face.
Slap.
Mr. Rick Rodriguez joining us once again on the pod. Last but certainly not least,
This guy right here.
Michael, Mr. Moorhead.
Mr. Moorhead.
This guy right
We
here.
have Mr.
Apparently,
Head.
headache
Headache, according to
is a
some.
thing.
Oh, dude, I looked left because I was going to acknowledge Austin, and I saw the drawing of the girl, and it freaked
Don't
me
do
the
that to me,
fuck
bro.
out, dude.
Dude.
Freaked me the fuck out. Mr. Head joining us on the pod once again. Curated this pick,
Yes,
which
sir.
we're going to get into, but they're also
You're all
helping
welcome.
us in the back.
By the way, can we
switching.
just acknowledge that his title is Masterhead?
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Master Moorhead.
Cool.
Masterhead.
Master Head. Love me some Master Head.
I already got to good of myself.
Mr. Head joining us on the pod. I need to acknowledge one more, or though he will be off camera for the pod.
He's back.
He's back, Mr. Austin Tyronius Young, chilling,
This guy.
grilling, and
Yes.
wheeling and dealing. He's back.
love
We're happy
you.
to have him back in the
Yeah.
office, in studio.
Absolutely, man.
Hey.
I cut to black when you said that. By the way, just so you know.
Oh my God. Austin, can you give like a yerp or something?
Love
Hell
it.
yeah.
That's my dog. I'm your humble film servant, Carlos La Torre, offering a writing director perspective. We're back. We got 2 more films for Sci-Fi Week
Well, we got one more film.
after this one. But have we finished
I
this one?
thought you meant like-
No, we fucking haven't.
God,
Delau.
I thought you meant
Dang
like
it.
2 more today. No,
do this
I
every
tied
week.
that.
We got 2 more weeks, quote unquote, for
Hell
Sci-Fi
yeah.
this week and next week. And pretty cool stuff. We always talked about doing the Sci-Fi Month. We've always kind of dabbled. Let us know what you think. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.
Yeah.
Yes, do it right now.
Before anything, just do
Do
it.
it.
Just hit the subscribe.
Do it.
It could be on YouTube, could be on Spotify, it could be on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
Could
What?
Be
You have to pay for it? No, you don't.
Definitely not yet.
And if I'm not convincing enough,
Just Just cut to that camera. Just.
Just focus on him.
I'm on black again.
Just
kidding.
Austin feels you.
Mr. Head curated another pick for us. He believes there's a direct
Austin.
correlation. Bless you. Between last week's pick, Primer, and this week's pick, The Endless. Not like story-wise or anything like that, but he's going to explain why.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead's The Endless, 2017 sci-fi film,
what?
written by Justin Benson, and both of these also starred in the film.
Oh,
Yeah, and
that
we'll
makes
let
sense.
Head explain because my man's ahead of the game. Head.
Gee, never
Why?
heard that one before.
Dude, that was years of.
You just reverted him back to like
Yeah, dude.
school days.
Also,
Just like this
last
movie.
week when somebody tried the same thing, I'm like, it gets old fast.
It goes all quick.
No, I'd like to talk about it more on the production side of things because it's not the films themselves. Although, as I was watching it, it actually did kind of occur to me there is more in common than I initially thought about.
Ooh,
Cool.
nice.
Okay.
Do you want
time
to? Do you want us to just kind of rapid fire rating and then we'll start talking about
Yes.
production and everything?
All right. You get to
So
decide
Head,
who goes first.
you decide who goes first. And you also decide what direction.
Who did I start with last time?
I think with him.
No, I thought it was with.
I think I
with
started
Rick.
With
With
Ricky.
Rick.
before.
You did.
Castro.
Oh wait, and then what direction after
Let's see,
Castro?
let's see, let's see,
Oil.
Let's see. What did I give the other one? A 7.3?
Yeah, but
Something
this
like
is a
that.
new movie.
I think I like.
I think it is 7-8.
I think it went up when you guys explained a lot of things. So I'll give this one a 7, just because this is my type of genre. I like the whole two brothers chemistry. One's a little bit optimistic. The other one's a little bit more of a big brother type of.
I want to talk to you about that specifically because you and I, as I like to say, we have brother issues. Know what I mean?
Yep.
And we both have an older brother, and we both, I think, have little brother syndrome, and that's
For sure,
it's a fair assessment. And I think that there's an interesting,
Absolutely. I
correlation
caught a
with this
couple
one.
of that.
But brothers got to stick together.
Man.
That's for damn show. That's for damn.
So yeah,
show.
I'll give it a 7. I mean,
You
what
like- you
really
like-
impressed me real quick was the production. I know Harry once
Absolutely.
talked about it, but
I have to ask, you liked Primer better than this?
Certainly give it a higher rating
you know what? I like how it's mysterious, but I just didn't like the pacing.
of this one.
Yeah, the pacing was just
Really?
one of the things that really threw me off. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fair. We're going this way or this way? Oh man, I actually enjoyed this one a lot more than Primer. Primer's got its charm. Primer's got its indie rugged charm.
I think
This has
Primer-
a lot more production value to it,
100%.
and not that necessarily directly influences my rating, but I got caught up in it. I
Yeah.
thought like. Because you typically see these indie films, and let's face it, filmmakers like us tend to compare it to our work or to work that we've seen locally or regionally or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Indie, we tend to compare it to other indie work. And I couldn't help but think that this, I couldn't help but think two things for this. A, it holds up as a strong indie. There's definitely stronger indies. There's absolutely stronger indies. There's those indies that are stronger that break into the mainstream in a very powerful way and in the most pure way, not in a sellout kind of way, but like things like Juno, I think about a lot.
Let me ask you this real quick. How much of a budget does it have to like come off from it being an indie?
I think
I think indie doesn't necessarily have to do with budget as much as it has to do with, is it a studio picture?
Yeah.
Does it
Oh,
have
really?
studio
Technically-
industry backing?
Technically, anything that's not like Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh,
One of the
okay,
main-
okay.
Disney. Technically, anything like that is indie. Like
because India is just
Kevin Smith
independently produced.
Independently produced cinema.
Okay.
So yeah, I think there's stronger indies, quote unquote, but this held extremely well, and it also shocked me a lot because I'm not a big sci-fi guy to begin with. So for it to keep me kind of engaged and following along, it felt okay. So
Not bad. That gross worldwide, this thing got almost 1 million.
almost $1 million on the what budget?
I think it was $1 million.
It was $1 million budget.
box office mojo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say
Hit us with it. Hit us with it,
I'll
man.
give it a 7.4. I'm comfortable at a 7.4. Though I think that it has good production value, has a good story.
C minus.
I didn't cringe as much as I cringe with a lot of indies, quite frankly.
True.
A lot of kind of weaker indies. But I thought it did extremely well. So I'm at a 7.4 with room to grow. One of the things I couldn't let go of, and this is the last thing I'll say before I pass it on to my mans.
My man's.
it felt like one of the good Stephen King novels. That's how I feel about this
Interesting.
one. Feels like one of the good Stephen King novels. Stephen King novels, by and large, in my personal opinion, are pretty shitty. But this one felt like one of the good ones. That's the best way I can kind of liken it. So The Endless had a budget of $1 million. All right, on the
Okay,
nose.
so
Broke even.
no, not yet.
Honestly, that's an AI, and I kind of never trust AI. Very
That's a
much.
good point.
True.
Find the true answer. Mr. Law, while you find that.
Mr. Lowe, what's the right answer?
7.5.
7 even. 7.5. 7.5. All right.
Yeah, I was like you and I were, I think, in a very similar ballpark. I think where this one benefits, like right now we're only doing direct comparisons, but like something like Primer, I feel was like high in concept, but in execution, there were elements that got lost.
Yeah.
This one was a lot more story focused, so
Sure.
it was easier to follow and easier to keep track of, and the sci-fi elements weren't what keeps you. What keeps
Right.
you is the characters.
Absolutely.
And in Primer, it's the concept. So I think
Yeah.
that's why this one gets a little bit higher on the list.
I feel like Primer is the film at festivals that you go and tell everybody about. It's like, hey, dude, this local dude made this fucking film and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then The Endless is the film that same filmmaker makes on a budget.
Yeah.
You know?
No, and
Which,
it's
which plays into why I chose this one. But anyway, I'll get that in a minute.
yeah,
Nice.
but I mean, I think I like how singular the story was. I like that it even though I've seen other films tackle similar concepts, nothing here felt cliched. Everything had a very fresh take, and I think overall well done. You know,
Yeah.
there's the performances were okay. Shots and composition
Right.
were okay.
Oh,
Borderline
those-
good.
I would say so, man. You and I constantly talk about intentionality.
Yeah.
I think this film was very intentional.
I agree.
Whether it succeeded in certain bits or it didn't, the weakest part about this film for me was the dialogue. Even then, the shots, the composition, the lighting,
They were
the mood,
okay.
everything was pretty intentional,
Really?
I'd say.
Yeah.
I really like the
Cinematography. No, I thought it was
That's
a
why
lot more
he's an actor,
intentional than
ladies
most.
and
I liked, you know, there was moments that I liked that I felt like intentionality wise, it comes across. Compositions were very interesting. There were parts where I think the struggle of an indie is you can imagine the shot being done better, and you can imagine maybe like with a little bit more budget they could have like expanded the look a little bit more. But those are like very nitpicky things. But I mean, I like definitely what the DP did with this.
Tell me
Oh,
what before we move on to Rick, a couple of those moments. The only place I felt that it came out where we were able to really nitpick it was there was two places. One of them I really accepted it because it's such a rookie mistake in then like a videographer world, which is the warp stabilizer it uses in some of the shots. But I thought it was used pretty intentionally. here.
My big gripe is probably the color palette. I feel like tonally,
Okay.
it's too far saturated.
Yeah.
and I feel like there's elements where
wow.
by desaturating it and making it a little bit more natural, you could have played into the tones because there's areas
Yeah.
where sure I understand that it's supposed to look warm, but I mean tonally, I feel like you're always teetering in this film between is this supposed to feel safe or is it supposed to feel like it's a cult? And
I felt that way in the first act. Once we got to the forest or whatever,
Yeah.
I was okay.
No,
The first act for me felt really.
To me, that's just like again, like as an overall, there were moments that were very redeemable and very good. I love the moments when you see the brothers together, and you could tell that very intentional vignetting on the sides, light them where they look nice, but it's kind of like they're having this very intimate moment with each other, like talking on like what do you want to do. I love the composition for like the them on the bunk beds, especially
on the
like them
bunk beds, I
being
was
like
gonna say.
the head on one side and head on the other side because it really shows the division between the two of them. Like
Oh!
I like a lot of those moments. The circle being this kind of like constant reminder of they're in a loop and they're stuck in a circle. So I love
guess-
all those. I just feel like
Yeah.
it's all the little things that I can't tell right now if most likely it's just budgetary constraints and then also maybe getting a colorist that again is within the budget and all that and the director being like let's really push the tones, push
Sure.
everything, but parts that I felt like didn't come across as natural, like they come across almost like it's the to me I almost call it like a sci-fi movie effect where when you look at like things like Sharknado and a lot of those indies that they like produce really quick, they also color grade really quick.
I
So
not just compare this to Sharknado.
no, in
color,
color,
the way-
in
yeah.
color,
Timing.
like
I thought I know what you're saying. I think I know what you're saying. What overshadows that for me a little bit is everything, all the good things, but the fact that like everything you just listed, the circle, the brothers, the compositions, how they're framed, how they're cut off, what's around them, what's not around them, when they're alone in camera, what's around, like they're all of that are usually things that are overlooked in a sci-fi film. Because you're in for a sci-fi film for a sci-fi film. You're not
but I
in
mean,
for a character piece or story or intentionality between what the character's really going through.
because like you look at things like Arrival, and I mean they know how to play into those images, and I think that they just I think
You just listed one of the better sci-fi films. Most sci-fi, especially
that's
indie
probably one of the
sci-fi,
best.
don't give a shit because they're not really looking for that. They're looking to be
Yeah.
entertained. They're
I
Again,
would
something-
disagree with that.
Yeah?
In terms of
Something
good
to-
sci-fi.
yeah.
Because good sci-fi, this is something that I've kind of thought about for a while now.
yeah.
Sci-fi is not a genre. Sci-fi is a setting. There are certain things that we think of as genres that are really not genres. They're settings. Sci-fi and Western, they're not genres. They're settings. Sci-fi, like think about sci-fi horror, Alien. Think about this is sci-fi buddy comedy, not comedy.
Sci-fi
but
drama.
Sci-fi drama. Passengers, sci-fi romance. Sci-fi is, and this is just my opinion. This is my random thoughts about it.
mean, that
Sci-fi
makes
is
kinda sense.
more about what is
Where?
happening in the story. Well,
Well, Alien takes place in space. Something like this. takes
yeah,
place
but it's
in
a
California.
horror movie in space.
Huh, I never really thought about it like that.
I don't, and I'm
I see
maybe
what
I'm
you're saying. So
rabbit
there, you're
trailing.
saying, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting. Like Nope being a sci-fi western.
Sci-fi Western horror.
sci-fi
It's a
creature
horror
feature.
That's not a
Sci-fi
horror.
Sci-fi
creature,
creature
yeah,
feature.
Sci-fi creature feature.
That's interesting. I mean, I
So
gotta
it's
Yeah,
a random.
think about
It's
that
a
one
random.
little
I
more.
didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
That's
no,
a
I was gonna
thinker.
say because I know that like we're lingering on my like rating, but 7.5. I maybe through the conversation I'll realize that I'm being either too low or too high, but I just it feels like it's falling right in the middle. It's a good
Interesting.
film, but I would like to explore what could improve about it. But Rick, what's the right answer?
I went 6.5.
6'5". Wow.
Oh man, that'd be
I
great in
kinda
the
went
microphone.
backwards with what you said. I thought it was. It got more interesting when he left the camp, only because nothing of actual substance happened on the camp. It was a bunch of talking, like literally nobody fist fought, nobody kissed, nobody. I don't know, not anything.
Yeah.
Nothing really happened.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of talking, a bunch of like, we're about to
It-
do something, and then nothing happened.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
also
afterwards-
it's a bunch of people that said like, we get it, you don't like the cult, but we like the cult, and then, just kind of like
I thought it was laying the groundwork pretty well.
I
thought
think it worked into it.
laid the
I
groundwork.
agree. I think everything that happened outside the camp was accomplished because of what they set up in the camp.
Yeah.
In terms
Yeah,
of
it had to be.
Look
Yeah.
what's happening. Let me show you what's happening. Let me show you what this means. Let me show you. But on
I
the
thought it
camp,
was a
it's
good
bunch of-
misleading thing.
But there was, but that's also the setting up those interpersonal. Like, there's not a fist fight, no, but there's a lot of
There's tension.
interpersonal conflict. Like,
I
a
just
lot of-
think, to your point, I thought it was good groundwork because it starts getting unraveled, right? That the older brother's an unreliable narrator. And he's not even the main. I mean, he's not even the guy we're solely following. He's kind of like supporting the little brother, and that's kind of who we have our eye on. I think that's a pretty good sleight of hand. I like that. I like that it wasn't being obvious. It wasn't being in your face. It wasn't trying to throw these sci-fi tropes at you. That's kind of what I appreciated about it. Although I will say the first act felt like an eternity.
Well, I have a theory.
well, wait, should
Yeah.
we knock out their ratings real quick?
Go for it. It's because it's a part of that. So remember
Well,
that.
6'5".
I went 6.5.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to say 4 out of 5.
Oh
No.
Why?
Okay,
no,
so an
no,
eight.
no,
Makes it
no,
an
no,
eight.
no, no,
It's
no,
an
no,
eight.
no.
We got to do math here. I like it. I think it's a good movie. I think
So
it's,
he rates
I
it an
think it
8.
is that character drama inside of the sci-fi story and puts people in that kind of unnatural situation.
Yeah.
But it also deals with that whole kind of cult aspect of it is how do people escape that kind of indoctrination, which is a thing that happens even today. It's still
100%. Yeah, yeah.
happening.
Interesting.
It's happening
Scientology
to
is one
me
of
right
them.
now.
And you're a
Scientology is one of the
cinephile, so yeah.
closest ones that I could think of.
Austin, do you
Scientology is a
have
whole
do you
bunch
have a
of
rating?
things.
7.
He said 7.
7.
Just like me.
The
We're
man
all
says
relatively in the same space. Head, you're
Yeah.
not giving it any higher than an 8, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. But to me, it's very hard to get above an 8 in a film.
All right, let me explain my theory, just because I'm really
IMDb
lost
primer
with this
higher.
film.
Yeah.
To me, the loop was when we was talking about the camp. I would call it like that's the comfort, right? Like everybody's nice and everything, and that's where they got to get off of. Like, I'll go with the other guy that's like
Okay.
like the guy that's trying to shoot himself and just
Yeah, that
keeps
just
coming back.
unlocks something for
That's regret.
That's great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
So that's why there was like no emotion there because it's just like
So,
comfortable.
like,
that's why they
likening
live
it-
forever.
No,
Likening it to like a commentary on society. Like
Well,
anybody
yeah.
within society is
Or on those
comfortable.
two characters
and,
that they're just stuck on. Do you want to be stuck on just being comfortable or regret?
Yeah, because also think about like the fact that like when they go to therapy to what is it called? Deprogram themselves. The whole notion behind that is that they're still stuck. Even if they're not physically there, they're still stuck in that mentality, in that mode.
There you go.
So everybody in their own way, be it trauma, be it something, is stuck there.
Yeah.
And I feel like I love that metaphor because I mean, to me, I think that adds a whole other layer to the film that otherwise,
Because you got the guy that's got the regret.
I just wish that maybe that was expanded upon a little bit more. Like
True.
because there's the guy who's like keeps running inside of a tent and then exploding.
Exactly.
And that's cool because it, I think, establishes like a horror kind of aspect to it, like the urgency of needing to get out of here. But I would have loved that there were more characters that say, I came here looking for something and now I'm just here. Like, I mean, I know that there was a girl saying like, oh, my husband got lost and now I'm here. Or the guy's like, oh, I came to find my friend and now I'm here. But I wish there was something that,
I fucks with it. I fucks with it a lot. I think if you dig a little deeper just within the context of what already is at hand, I think it might just be representing different aspects of society within the camp and without the camp.
Yeah.
Within the camp, I think about the camp leader, right? And I think about religion. I think about how religion tells you, like, there is a way, but this is just my theory. Like, religion tries to tell you that they're the right ones, right? But there's also that leader that's kind of like, I don't say I have all the answers, but there is a higher being.
Yeah.
So
You know.
here's my follow-up question to that. So what does it mean when the guy Hal, but you love the name Hal?
Yeah.
Who's Hal?
Hal
The cult leader.
Okay, okay.
He says
Cult
he's not the leader. He says he's just the guy that talks.
Well,
to them.
Because I think that, again, what they're all experiencing, nobody's leading the way. He just says, I'm just the loudest voice in the room. And I feel like in this situation, like, again, breaking away from the stigma of it being a cult, and it's, again, to remind, like, the audience and, even the brother, like, we're not a cult. We're just stuck here. And I feel like moments like that or moments like saying, well, just leave. It was all these things to basically be like, if I was really leading a cult or like pushing for a cult, I'd be trying to beg you to stay. But that's not the case. We're just a part of a phenomenon now. And that's why
But why is he so
nobody's-
slow to admit that? Why is he so slow to...
Because I think they all have to deal with it in their own personal way.
No, but most of the people, especially outside the camp, are acknowledging like, hey, you have till these moons are up. Otherwise, you're fucked. Everybody else is embracing it and I guess embracing it as a lifestyle. But if he was such a good guy, why wouldn't he be the one to say like, hey, no, dude, like this isn't for you. Like, fuck off. Like, leave. You're not going to find the answers here. He's not. He's kind of,
on the flip side of that, there's this idea of perpetually being in the same state.
Yeah.
You got thrown off. Carlos, you texted me during the film. It was like, it's the beer. The beer makes him live forever. You got thrown off because they mentioned the beer. If you're stuck for 10 years and you're going to be repeating, but they remember everything. That's a key. It's not a reset.
Yeah.
It's just you go back in time 10 years.
Yeah.
If you're stuck somewhere and you're going to be stuck there, what are you going to do? It gets into that idea that they talked about at the beginning. They said like 1 million hours. It's like 10,000 hours.
Right.
The 1 million hours thing. And I think that's why, if you remember the guy,
the older guy with the
oldest
beard
guy,
and
the guy that made the beer, I this is my headcanon for it. He's been there the longest. He's been there
Sure.
probably since the 1800s.
He's the one with the film cans. He's the dude.
And he's the one that is trying to master making beer. That's why early on you see him like looking. He's
And he
taking
tosses
and he
it.
tosses it because
Yeah.
it's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
How does
The
that,
obsession.
And this is Dilo, this is something for you because you kind of just made me make a parallel here. How does that idea play into what they kind of reference at the end, living the same life, the same day over and over again, just cleaning houses and trying to make it?
I think again, the parallels in this, like even the bubbles, right? Like though people are living in different bubbles and everybody has their own world, they could be living in their own little loop and cycle. Like I've recently been talking to somebody about like therapy. It's not so much that therapy is going to give you the answer or the key to your problems, but what it is that if you imagine, let's say, the stream of your emotions being like a pipe, and then what happens that you go through trauma, which clogs the pipe. What happens is that therapy is just supposed to be this thing that unclogs it, so that way everything can keep flowing, and you're not just stuck at this one spot. And I feel like this movie is embodying the idea that it doesn't matter what the situation is, everybody gets stuck in that one spot. And sometimes it feels like, again, like he says, we work a crappy job, and then after working a crappy job, we go home, and then we come back to the crappy job, and we are, in our way, living that cycle. But it's kind of like, wouldn't you like to be stuck in a happy cycle? And the question is, like, would you rather be stuck doing something, even if you know that it's just, you're only ever going to do that thing, or have the ability to know that you could do anything? Like good and bad can happen. And that's that interesting question that I love. Again, the genre of sci-fi, at the end of the day, it's meant to reflect some kind of human aspect.
Right.
You know, it's meant to reflect something that we all deal with, we all struggle with. And, you know, it breaks it down. It gives it a higher concept, but it's like, are you able to, do you want to keep living the same day, or would you like to know that you're at least capable of doing something new?
So that's a question that I think I'd like to throw out to all of you guys. If you had the chance, the opportunity to say you're going to live in this camp for 10 years and you can keep living that over and over again,
Sure.
would you say yes or no?
Yeah, I'm done.
No, because
You guys wanna come to the beer camp?
I think it's the same situation, right? Like that's the equivalent of like,
Wow.
if I you know,
Is this why you don't wanna
if I
have a
get to
beer
make a
with me?
film every 10 years for, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the one thing I do and get obsessed with making the perfect film and nobody sees it and it doesn't go through the system we kind of want it to go through,
Well, they can reach out. They sell their beer.
and they send tapes to these dudes or whatever, right? Whoever, or unless that was the being or whatever happened. But my point with that is that life is finite for a reason, right? We get to appreciate life because it ends. Like, if you
That's
just
also a good point. The whole tapes and photos, those are our own kind of physical ways of being stuck in something.
Sure.
People who people who get like nostalgic and go back to home videos to replay like a birthday or something like that.
But that's the point, right? You yearn for those memories or those moments because you can't get them back ever.
Oh, dude, but like a beer and just a campfire,
perfect beer.
Yeah, man.
You can still do that, though. You don't have to get caught in the time warp. You
I'm
can just
down.
go to
But
Rigoso
every
or
day forever.
Have you seen oh yeah, we reviewed it on the podcast, but Palm Springs.
Oh yeah, with
Yeah, where it's just like, nah, I'm cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like, it sucks, but I mean, like, I already know where everything is, you know?
Life is finite for a reason, right? It sounds a little preachy, but like I don't know. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool in this loop as long as you can break from this one.
I
if
think
you
another
want.
question to ask, if let's say, I feel like the answer generally is like nobody would want to be stuck in a moment forever.
Exactly.
Even if it's positive, the idea of never being able to move forward is scary.
well, it just hits where like my theory is where
Exactly.
you can't stay in your comfort zone. You gotta
Yeah,
experience
because
life.
but-
you know?
but
good
they
or
do-
bad.
in a
Stop
way
looking
they-
at the past.
Man, that's interesting. The older brother,
That's what I was gonna ask.
because you have to think about this, right? You have to think about he escaped or they escaped or he was able to get his brother out who he feels protective over, but at the same time,
Super protective.
he understands, you know, they were rescued from a fire, a burning car with the mother.
Right,
He
right.
seems responsible for him, but his arc is, I found a place. This is quote unquote our family who raised us.
The older brother?
The older brother, because in the cult, right? While he's in the cult, he wants to be master of the cult. He wants to control. He wants a sense of control.
Right.
Usually, people who go through trauma, specifically trauma like car accidents, or you have a lack of control. You can't control the fact that your mom died in a fire. You can't control the fact, So the fact that I can control looking after my brother, the fact that I can control being in the society, but there is no leader, and that's an interesting thing for the brother to let go, not just of the little brother, but to let go for the desire of control.
That's his arc.
That's his arc.
They spelled that out at the very end. That's his
Yeah.
arc.
Right.
His arc is
100%.
I'm in control and I want to give up control.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give up control.
I just didn't feel like he wanted to be the leader. He just was asking a lot of questions. Where did
I think
fill
that's
me in
just
on
like
that?
I think that's just
The video, right? The clip where they're both dressed in white and they're both like preachy of the cult or whatever.
Because I understand the little brother's a little
What?
bit more
Come back to that in a
optimistic.
minute.
He wants
Go ahead, Rick.
belonging.
What is it made up? Is it like
We'll come back to that in a minute. But Rick, it's important.
I think I'll say this. This is why I feel like where the challenges for me lie in is in the dialogue, because I didn't buy it wholeheartedly when he was just like, okay, I guess I got to stay with you, and
That's
I think
where I'm like, how?
That's real. There's realism there because you have an older brother and your older brother talks to you that way. My older brother talks to me that way, of like, well, I guess I'm gonna live a miserable life because you're miserable, so we'll both sit here or whatever, That's a very real big brother, little brother aspect for me anyways. But I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it for this character. I didn't buy it for him to just sit by the campfire and be like, well, I guess I accept this fate. That didn't feel true to the arc of letting go. That felt like compromise.
Agreed.
That felt like passive-aggressive compromise.
But doesn't that?
I don't know.
To me, I almost took it as it's similar to like the tone you get in the car at the end of the film, where he's like, "Hey, you're out of gas. That means the car's not going to go." And he's like, "No, but it's still going." And it's like,
right,
"Well,
you
you're
take
going
care
to
of it.
learn."
There's the arc.
You're gonna
That's
learn.
where the arc kicks in.
Well, that's when he says, "You take care of it then."
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
You'll
oh,
figure it
well,
out.
yeah.
You'll figure it
And
out.
I felt like, okay, fine, we're gonna stay here, and you're not gonna like it, but this is how you learn. Like
That felt manipulative and weird, and I didn't like it. I didn't feel like that was
Which part?
where he finally says, like, well, if you're going to stay, I'm going to stay, and he just sits.
Oh yeah, I'm with you 100%.
It just didn't feel good. Head, there's something you wanted to point out. A few things.
What was I saying? 'Cause I got
Well, the
distracted.
fact
wait,
that
wait.
the
So let-
tapes, like, where that tape specifically of
can
them
I-
being preachy and
or unless you had something that you wanted to say about the tapes,
Something will come back.
I wanted to circle real quick. Castro, when it comes to this film, like indies, these guys, have they been acting for a while? Like, this is obviously not their first thing.
I have to say, I don't remember them from anything else.
This
Yeah,
is
they don't look
their-
familiar at all.
This is their sophomore film.
Sophomore film.
So their
As
first
actors?
film- as writers, directors, actors.
Oh shit.
Mm.
You
Their
kind of
first
feel it
film-
with the chemistry, I guess, in camera.
And obviously they're good friends. You can tell that they're just good friends in
Yeah.
real life.
I could.
Now, their first film was a movie called Resolution. And remember the guy that was handcuffed in the cabin?
The drunk crack.
That's the film Resolution.
Right.
They
Takes place in the
appear-
same world, right?
Same world. They appear in the film Resolution as that
Oh,
scene
that's so
where it's like
cool.
them
Same
preaching,
universe.
them preaching. That's from the movie Resolution.
Yeah.
Those same actors,
Same directors.
same actors are the cabin people.
That's fun.
What, Rick?
So it is kind of this interesting
Fucking
little.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I told Head during the film, I was like, I like these two characters.
Oh yeah,
I like
100%.
them. Now I want to watch the film because I thought even when they left, I was like, they should have had more of those characters. It was a very interesting little.
You can
spot.
see
I was
more
like,
From what I understand,
They added the
the
humor.
film doesn't, in any way, shape, or form, or note that it's a time loop resolution. They don't acknowledge
It
it.
does not, because I think that idea came around when they were making this.
This
film.
one. So does the wife is the
wait a minute.
wife a character in the resolution?
I think they mention her.
Okay.
I haven't. It's been so long since I've seen Resolution. I think they mention that he has a wife. I don't think they actually have her in the film.
But in Resolution, they also interact with UFO cult people, right?
They do, and played by Moorhead and Benson,
Wow.
who are the writer
that's
and director.
Awesome.
Okay, she's in the. She's okay. Ricky says she's in the movie. He's in
Oh, okay. Does that have anything to do with the tape?
they in the film Resolution. They're getting communicated with by the entity. Now they don't. I don't think they call it that. But they're getting tapes. They're getting hard drives that have information.
Oh, I see.
Just like the camp,
Wow,
but a
that's
different way.
fun.
That's cool.
Hold on. So, is there a clear answer to what the entity is? Like, is it just?
Of course not.
No.
which is why this.
Or what's your theory on
That's
that?
using budget restraints in the best way possible in an indie picture, right? That's not showing
It's-
too much. That's, you know.
It also plays into what I think this film's genre is, which is not technically sci-fi. Like even if give up my sci-fi as a setting, give up that entirely. Are there sci-fi elements? Yes, there's time travel or things like
100%.
that. This, if you remember the opening quote, who was one of the opening quotes by?
T.S. Lewis?
No, H.P. Lovecraft.
H.P. Lovecraft.
This is a
Two letters.
This is a Lovecraftian
Ah,
cosmic horror type
Sure.
thing.
I was thinking a lot of Color Out of Space, but I mean, I know that Color Out of Space is
And
more like,
they make a little bit of reference to that. He's like, I imagine it's an invisible color. Yeah,
yeah. Castro, like,
What was your question?
it's an indie. The director, writers are also like acting in it. What were your thoughts on performances? Where would you have seen improvement, and where would you have commended them on their performance?
Obviously, how natural they are together. Obviously, they're brothers. You could tell, like, you know, they get along together. But in some of the scenes, it kind of felt kind of muted. Like there was, but I think it plays into what this movie is. It can't be a spectacle. So it has to be a little bit more natural, more kind of just flowy.
Did the flirty scenes with the girl, did those play well?
I think she was a good actress.
She was a good
with
one,
the
really good actress.
younger brother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a good actress. That one felt good. It's just the other ones with the other girl that was crying. Those seem kind of off.
oh, that's interesting.
That one seemed the weirdest to me because that's where I almost felt like, oh, is this like a cult? Like the whole thing I was thinking of is, oh, this is all cult manipulation. And I thought the antithesis of the film
100%
was going to
true.
be,
Well, that's
oh,
unfair.
they're going to try to like trap them. And then it's going to be this big explosion of trying to get out while everybody's trapping them. But then that didn't really play out. But like the girl that was crying, I was like, oh, is this like a distraction? Or when the guy said, hey, don't worry about that. Anyway, I got another trick to show you. Everything was like leading me to believe.
Well,
Well, I thought
when
that
they're
lent itself to the unreliable narrator thing because the older brother's constantly trying to just point out bad shit that's happened, like the fact that this Anna character, she's a pedophile. Hey, that's unfair. They're caught in the time loop. That's just not fair.
Yeah, dude,
That's
that
just
was-
like
but-
unfair.
Oh,
where,
that's
where do you
also-
draw your line, though?
Yeah, where do they
Yeah.
draw the line? And B, she didn't care for him. Like she wasn't flashing her eyes at him or like flirting with. She wasn't flirting back.
a
I
little
don't
bit.
think so. I thought she was
don't
kind of
think so.
cold.
That's why
I
it kind of
think
threw
that's
me
where
off
it's
when
at.
they're walking and he's like, "Yeah, I slept with her." Usually people say that
And,
they had
well,
sex.
That gets into he is definitely a stunt in terms of a character. He's a stunted character.
He's a what?
He's a stunted character.
The brother, the
Yeah.
older
The
brother.
brother, played by Aaron Moorhead, the blonde guy. Like he plays like a young teenager. If you think about it, that's the kind of character he's
For sure.
And I think they did that very
That's a very fair point.
intentionally because that's another thing where they're showing the older brother is kind of overbearing.
He's
think.
more grounded, quote unquote. You tend to believe him over the younger one. There's something wrong with the younger one. That's why we have to go back in the first place. Yeah, there's something to that. There's something to that. But it's like that same thing. Like I don't know if you guys have ever heard stories, quote unquote, but you see them around a lot in famous people like Joaquin Phoenix and his family. People who come out of cults are fucking weird. Like they end up being weird people in society, like because they're not used to the
Yeah, it's
norm.
hard to
They're not
adjust.
used to the hard to
There's a
adjust.
series called Going Clear, which is about Scientology.
Dude, that
And
opened my
that's-
eyes for a lot of
It's
things.
messed up what
Yeah.
they do to people in there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You also have people like Tom Cruise that are
Right.
highlighted as
Sure.
okay. I'm not. That's a whole.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's-
no. But it's but the point
But it
here
feeds
is
into the cult
that
thing.
societal. I mean, how much worse is a cult to a religion that wants to take advantage of people?
Oh, yeah.
You know, Scientology being one of them, it's considered a religion, right? It's how far worse are certain cults that give people hope or an afterlife premonition or whatever versus a religion that, you know, I don't know, takes your
By
money.
the way,
and
that's why I was also like during
builds
the
cathedrals
the-
and whatever, you know.
during the film, I was making references to Ari Aster, and like he has Hereditary, and I was thinking of the music from Hereditary.
Yeah.
Like at some point, it's just gonna play.
Yeah.
But
I really wanted that too.
yeah.
was
But
gonna
Especially
say
during
that
the tent stuff, like
they
that
missed a lot
music,
of
that loop. I really
opportunities.
wanted
Yeah,
that.
but
100%.
I think like somebody did a breakdown for Hereditary and Midsommar, and what I loved about it was this whole idea of like sure, cults are weird and they're like the practices are odd, but the whole idea of the film is, but doesn't that feel more comforting following a tradition that has these rules and you do these things at this time and it somehow leads to things being better, and that you feel a better sense of community than you would in the outside world? Like when that character was in the outside world, she has to talk to people through emails. Nobody really hugs her or touches her. But then when she's there, she is now a family member and all that. And I thought this film at some point in time was going to take that where
The outcast thing, like the girl with the curly hair.
Yeah.
That whole like the outcast factor.
Yeah,
of,
the outcast factor.
I was in
where-
a mental health institution and they accepted me.
Yeah, where it's kind of like the society itself wasn't warm and welcoming, but once you're in this like commune, now you're family. Like even like the whole thing where he's like, I don't remember it being bad. I remember that we would just have campfires with family, and I remember that we would all be together, and that was fun.
But that lends itself to the stunted, theory here that the younger brother remembers, almost like blocks out any negativity because he was just pulled out from this, and trauma blocking, right? Like his brother led him to believe we escaped.
Damn.
This
The
was
brother
bad.
kept feeding
Yes.
that negative
Yeah, that
information
narrative.
in.
There was
missed
newsreels, and
that.
right, so like it's like a block, right? A
Yeah.
mental block that you end up. That's interesting. Super interesting.
But I think making the younger brother a little bit more, I don't want to say innocent, but a little bit more oblivious to things,
Right.
aids you in the audience, because when you're watching, you can easily side with the younger brother.
You want to
thinking
believe him.
the
You're
older
curious.
brother's being controlling. He's the one that just wants to control everything. But then you see things like the scene where he says, "I slept with her," and he's like, "What did you mean? You literally slept with her?" And it also gives you a reason, like maybe he needs to look after him because this kid
He's Tom Hanks from Big.
thinks he's making
Yeah.
progress with the
Great
woman
film.
that he's probably not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's following cults that he shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? So where if he doesn't control him, this kid's gonna get himself killed. He's gonna get himself hurt.
Absolutely.
I dig it.
There's also that idea of an idealized childhood. Like for people that have a good childhood, they maintain that kind of very positive part of things. And I would hope most parents would want to have positive childhoods, want to raise their kids in positive childhoods.
Right.
But there's also that kind of blinder you put on.
Yeah.
Where you selectively say, I'm going to remember the good stuff, and the bad stuff kind of fades away.
You're protected. You're shielded from the rest of the world in a weird way. Like I have these conversations with Sandra all the time because Sandra kind of grew up in a good home. Her parents are still together, like almost 50 years later, whatever it is.
That's cool.
And that's cool. It's cool. And she has older brothers, whereas I was the complete opposite. I have older brothers, but come from a product of divorce. We have these conversations all the time because it forced me to become more independent faster. We had no choice, but she was kind of like shielded from the world, protected. And that's what every kid wants. That's what every parent wants for their child, is to kind of like, I'm going to teach you the ways, but I got you.
It kind of makes me wonder, what is their thought process behind how the older brother ended up that way then? Why was he ended up as the control freak compared to the
I think that's
an
an older brother
Yeah.
thing, because my older brother, I don't know if you guys get this with your brothers, but like my older brother claims to be the one. My older brother's 5 years older than me. He claims to be the one that experienced the most trauma. They'll always take that in stride. Like, I shielded you. And I was kind of like, no, I was kind of standing right beside you, dude. Like, we're both there together.
Same, brother.
But it's the same
Same,
situation,
same.
right? So, like, I figure the older brother thinks, that natural instinct of
Yeah.
I have to protect,
And
because
is it also the mother was dead and he feels he took that responsibility?
100%.
for
right,
himself.
absolutely.
I think it's
100%.
those two things.
I think it's both of them for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting.
Fingering the microphone. That's weird.
Because I mean, that's also like why.
Doing what now, Head?
I started doing this for some reason. And I'm petting the microphone. I don't know why. Sorry.
What's that saying?
okay.
A tough life builds tough characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Whereas, again, if the brother's going to be shielded and for 10 years at a peak are campfires and, what are they? What's the guitar?
Hallelujahs or
Yeah.
lullabies.
Yeah, potato in dirt don't grow mold, but potato on land.
Some people say that a cucumber tastes better pickled. Huh?
That's like Blast from the Past when he comes out into the real world.
Oh,
Super
yes,
nice,
dude.
Super ignorant about everything.
Oh my goodness.
I like that movie. Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, same.
Movie.
Anytime you reference a Brendan Fraser movie,
I don't
it's a
think
good thing.
the Low's seen it.
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah?
I made a reference, but it's a bad one.
What was it?
I brought
Oh
you
my
a warm
goodness,
Dr.
look.
Pepper with lemon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is good. Like I said, I think I hate to use these terms, but tell me if I'm wrong. For an indie, this is pretty solid. For like
Yes.
you know,
It's impressive.
like if I picked this up by surprise, if this was
Dude, I
in
wish
the wrong hold on.
Blockbuster
Yes, if this
existed, yeah.
was in the wrong DVD case at Blockbuster,
I wouldn't be
I
disappointed.
wouldn't be that mad.
That's a good.
I don't know.
That's a good. No,
And for a sophomore film, it has a lot of potential there, and that kind of segues into what the reason I chose this one compared to Primer. Does anybody have any other thoughts about the movie before we get kind of into the production?
No, I was just going to say, it's like if I rent
I'm into-
Signs from Blockbuster and I get this.
bro. Whoa, hey, bro.
Signs is
Start
one of my
fighting
favorite
words,
movies,
bro.
by the way.
Signs is what?
One of my favorite movies.
Yes,
It's a good
dude.
film.
absolutely.
It's a great film. But that's my point. That's
you'd be-
greater.
No, you'd be
right?
very
That's up here.
disappointed.
No, very
If
disappointed.
you didn't,
Compare-
if you
compared
didn't
to
see
Signs?
either one,
Well, yeah.
yeah, like that's why you're renting Signs because you've never seen it.
Well,
And you get this one,
it's
you're
so
like,
good
yeah,
you're
the
renting it
title
again.
card
Yeah.
doesn't come up till the end.
Yeah, but then
I'm
you
just-
watch Signs, you're like, why the
No,
fuck did I
it
waste
had
my
the
time on
title.
that?
Exactly.
Oh, on the
Rick.
TV. On the
Yeah.
TV.
Timestamp that.
The Endless
no.
versus Primer.
The reason,
Yes.
one of the reasons I chose this guy, Moorhead and Benson. By the way,
Yeah.
De La O. Did you notice who the cinematographer was in the film?
Who?
Aaron
no.
Moorhead.
Oh, shit,
What?
son.
Jesus.
Damn, son, the blonde kid DP'd this
He
shit?
DP'd it.
Damn.
While
That dumb
acting in
loopy
it
motherfucker.
And co-directing.
It's good.
Yeah. Wow, look at that, man.
I needed to point that out because we were talking about like multiple
Did we
roles.
see the
And
credit
they
list?
co-edited the
It was-
film.
I was
Co-edited
there. It
the
was on
film.
there.
It was
They
there.
co-directed.
Directed by, food provided by,
They had a
music.
little more budget for this one, but no. The reason
That's impressive.
The
Come on.
reason that I picked this movie compared to Shane Carruth's Primer, Carruth had Primer. He made one sophomore film,
Right.
Upstream Color, and kind of didn't do anything.
Kinda
after that.
didn't
We
do
talked
anything
about
else,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Moorhead and Benson, they took off.
Yeah?
They kept making their own movies. They made there was one they made in frickin' Italy called Spring, which is a weird kind of creature romance movie, which is really good. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, hey.
But if you look at their credits, Ricky has their credits up. They've gone on to do things like they've directed episodes of Twilight Zone. They've
Loki.
directed
Oh,
Loki.
cool.
That's awesome.
They directed
Daredevil.
They've
That's
gotten
cool.
into Marvel doing a whole
What?
bunch
That's
of
what you
series.
want from like an indie filmmaker, right?
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
exploring this thought, and I don't know if it's just because we're getting older and we become a little more grounded and we become a little bit more realist. I feel like Head, from everybody that I know in this industry or like this community specifically, Head has you've cracked this code a long time ago to understand that you could just be a career director and not have your name in lights, but still make $1 million features and
yeah.
still fucking direct.
Please hire me. That's what he's saying is please hire me.
But my point is, anybody
Yes.
like it does give hope for like hey, if I pull together $1 million to make an independent feature, this I think if I'm not mistaken, this premiered at Toronto or Tribeca, and it was in competition at Tribeca.
Yeah.
I don't think it won, but it was in competition, so it did well. It did give them a springboard to make other
And
shit.
they you know what?
They
And
kept
make it by
going.
themselves. Yeah, continue to make independent features.
The one movie, there's a movie that they made. It's called Synchronic, and it had what was the guy's
Synchronic. I've seen that in the.
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie. It had Anthony Mackie.
The current Captain America.
Right, but Synchronic came out right after Captain
Oh,
America
wow.
Winter Soldier. I think they filmed it before he became a Marvel guy. So they kind of springboarded on that, and maybe they used his connections to get them into Marvel. I don't know.
Maybe.
Which is brilliant, by the way, if they did that. Synchronic is not that good a movie, in my opinion. It's not, to me, it is not as good as The Endless. That's a personal preference. Now, I like Anthony Mackie. He's a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But
don't.
it's a very different film.
It's Papa
still-
Doc and 8 Mile. You don't
still
fuck around.
time travel, but but that's kind of why I wanted to compare these two is because Shane Carruth, I don't know what he's doing right now.
$7,000 movie, $7,000 indie.
Which did
Shane
great.
Carruth Did
Which did
great for
great.
what it was.
This one, I don't know what the budget was for Resolution.
Must have been less.
It was
'cause
low.
It was
Maybe
his first
half,
one.
maybe
One
250,
one
250 grand or
location,
something like that.
Basically two actors the entire time, but it tells a good story. They grow into this, and that to me, this is how indie directors succeed.
Yeah.
Start small, grow.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if I should say this or not.
Say it.
Do it.
Say it with your chest.
I have been contacted by someone that I've known. Carlos has said I lived in Dallas for a long time. Somebody that I worked with in Dallas that has contacted me, and he wants me to DP a movie, his first feature, and he said, "Yeah, we're going to raise $400,000."
First and then 400.
Which I say, if you can do that, awesome, amazing, do it. I kind of have my doubts. It could happen. I could be totally wrong.
You have your doubts that they'll raise the money, or
I
you'll
have
have
the doubt they're going to get that much budget.
Okay.
It's a good script. It's a fun script. It's a very stylized movie. But he just said the budget amount. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Sure.
Am I pursuing it? Absolutely, right now. I
like,
worked with him
I'll say
before. I
this.
like the guy, and I think it's gonna. I think if it gets made the way he wants it made, it's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
Are you saying? Let me ask you. Are you saying that versus it getting made with 50 grand?
You just said stylized.
Are you
That
comparing
kinda
it
scares me.
to something? Like, are you comparing it to? We could do it for this amount, or we can.
Again, I'm going to reference like something I talked about with Primer last week. I think the climax of Primer is this fight at a party with a shotgun.
Sure.
You never actually see it.
You get lost in the sauce about it.
Well, I think that was their budget constraint. That was when they were
Ah,
running
I
out.
see,
They
I
said,
see, I
"How do
see.
we shoot this with the absolute minimum
Yeah.
money that we have?"
Right.
I also feel. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Listen, I understand what. I understand what the internet teaches you. I understand what film school teaches you. Film school teaches you cover your ears, head. Film school teaches you to be constrained in the sense not outwardly, but it's telling you, hey, if you can do two characters in one room, you know. But I feel like that's
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like an outdated situation. I've also probably just been living in a different headspace. Like I remember seeing a video recently with PTA saying like I hated film school. I went into one class and the professor, the first words out of his mouth were, "If you're here to make Terminator 2, get out now." And he's like, "Why? There could be a kid in the corner who wants to make Terminator 2 and they'd be great at it, and you just discouraged them." He's like, and that's kind of how I see film school. I think I went to quote unquote film school. So I think there's an interesting prospect where it's outdated now. I think it was the indie boom, the Sundance boom of the 90s and the 2000s to say, hey, the Saws of the world, the films that were successful of two people in one room. I think indie moved to a space of sci-fi and big concept, and I think that's why it's suffering now for a lot of people. It's saying, take this big genre in quotations, and make it for 10 grand or make it for, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, aren't you?
I
you
also
still gotta go
think
through
that
the
there's people who are making these kind of scripts that are like high concept but also like high production value in its scale. I mean, we were talking to like the UTEP kids, and they were saying like, "Oh, well, what if I don't have the money to make my movie?" And we're like, "No, you can still make your movie, but you just gotta like think about how do you use your constraints
Where
to
you
your
make
benefit."
yeah,
Exactly. Like, sure, getting a huge psych wall and making that your green screen and having actors on wires and floating through space, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
But decorating a single office to look like the inside of a spaceship and putting a green screen for a window and the actor being in there, that's feasible and possible. And you can still do the concept.
Teenager in Plano. I think it was right before COVID. There was a teenager in Plano outside of Dallas. He made a feature film in his backyard because he just literally, his parents like built a set for him that's a spaceship.
Right.
They got freaking Neil deGrasse Tyson in it as a cameo.
That's cool.
Holy shit.
It's just talking on it's like a Zoom call, but still, it's kind of
Still,
cool.
yeah.
That's really cool.
But
My mom used to live in
here's
Plano.
and here's the thing that I always think about, because I do teach students and I love teaching. I love students. I love encouraging them to do it. If I gave one of the beginning production students a red camera, they wouldn't know what to do with it.
Oh, that's so good. That's such a good point.
And here's the
Yeah, I
thing.
don't think it's lost in the sauce, dude.
It's not as endless. Shot on Red Dragon. I'll say that. It's not
Cheater.
If you give a student a red camera, even if they know what to do with it, are they going to make a good
No,
movie?
we've had conversations. We had the conversation recently with the DMP kids of like, hey, if tomorrow, fresh out of film school, if tomorrow some Paramount called you and said, "Here's $1 million," are you ready to make $1 million picture? Chances are you're
That's what I'm
not.
saying.
Chances are your film's going to suffer. And we can, I keep thinking about that guy. I'm an NYU film graduate, sucker. Because it's like, I've earned my right to say it, is what he says. It's that thing where you do have to exercise that muscle to a T. Like you have to fall on your face as many times as you possibly can, as fast as you possibly can, so that you can make better pictures.
And throwing money doesn't solve solutions.
Absolutely not. I agree. Wholeheartedly.
Ryan Reynolds, who just made stinking $1 billion Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
I love watching him and Hugh Jackman on Hot Ones, which is just hilarious, by the way, because they're hilarious. But he also mentions this thing. He's like, money constraints on this multi-million-dollar film. He's like, money constraints force you to be more creative.
Well, isn't that how Deadpool happened to begin with? He just shot a proof of concept because nobody cared to give him X amount of
like
money.
4 years.
Technically, it was a CGI concept. It was a CGI. The opening
The bridge
sequence
thing.
of Deadpool. He had somebody make it with CGI. He voiced it, and it's literally almost shot for shot the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And people loved it, but even then, Ryan Reynolds, after he's had a successful career, it took him 10 years to get that off the ground.
Right,
It took
right.
him 10 years to go from Deadpool 2, a really, really successful movie, to Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
But they don't give up. That's part of it.
And I love that,
Yeah.
like, at least in the first Deadpool, if I can remember correctly, when Deadpool goes and reaches out to the people at X-Men, there's a line that he says where they go at the door and they're talking to them, and he's like, well, we didn't have the budget to show off the rest of the X-Men.
Which is an amazing line.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something like that where, sure, in this big grand scale, it's kind of like using those budgetary restraints ended up making that a funnier beat, a funnier scene. And again, something like this, what is it called? Hiding the monster behind the curtain makes it a lot scarier
Absolutely.
than showing you every inch of
Jaws.
it.
And that,
agree.
Jaws, I was about to
Bruce
say
and
now
Jaws
there's
were supposed to
currently an exhibit at the Academy Museum for its 50th anniversary of a man who did just that. It didn't show the shark as much as he wanted to because it failed, and now he had to get creative on how to not show the
He had
shark.
constraints
He had
because it kept
constraints.
breaking, and he's like, okay,
Kept
what do
breaking.
we
He's like,
freaking do?
yeah.
And they made it an amazing film after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which raises the question for me: just what timeline is it where Jaws failed, and Steven Spielberg is like a realtor somewhere? I don't know.
Kevin Smith,
That would be-
fellow
that'd be an
alumni of the
awesome
pod,
concept.
said that he
Fellow
just
friend.
produced.
Fellow friend.
Fellow friend of the podcast. He just told me about a story. He just executive produced a documentary called, I think you could probably find it on his IMDb. He just produced it. It's called The Shark That Roared or something like that. The Shark That Roared. There you go. It's about the bad Jaws, like Jaws 4 or whatever, Jaws 3, whichever one it is.
3D?
Jaws the Revenge. I guess
That's
that's the
a thing?
second one, right? He's like,
Oh, no,
I
yeah.
just wanted to EP this thing because this dude made a doc about how much of a cult following this film has. And I guess like similar to any other cult film, people get together every year and they screen it and they
That's
make a
cool.
thing of it.
Sharknado.
Sharknado.
Hey, there's a following, okay?
There's also there's one,
I mean, how much better could Sharknado be versus Jaws the Revenge?
they've made 7 Sharknadoes. I'm going to point that out.
They have.
They had a cult calling. By the way, I love pulling up the Asylum website for my students. That's the company that made Sharknado.
Are they
And
still
all these
around?
yeah.
Yeah, I
They're
think
still
CK
making
said
movies.
that he's worked with them in the
really?
past.
They made Julian. He's been in one of their movies.
Julian Cabot.
Yeah, up in
No way.
The Ballerina Assassin. They're still making movies.
God.
They make movies in like
This
2
is the new
weeks,
Trauma, man. Seriously.
but it works. And they
No, but
Airplane 2025 with Tom Arnold.
wait.
I'm a big
what?
Tom Arnold fan. So
No, it's because I think of
I'm
the
in.
Soul Plane.
I wish you guys.
He was in
I-
Soul Plane and shit.
Morgan
I wish you
instead
guys
of
could see
Megan.
the screen.
Morgan.
Look at us.
Morgan.
Bro, this has to be a joke.
No, these are
Evil
real
Nun.
Nun.
Dear God.
I'm so sorry I got distracted.
What is
Wait,
this, Jurassic,
Jurassic
Reborn?
Because they always do it right at the release of these
Of
new
course,
ones.
that's
Yeah,
how they
try to-
capitalize
yeah,
on
try to-
Shark
There is
Terror.
a term for it. It's Mockbuster. Mockbuster. is the term.
Mockbuster. That's
Mockbuster.
funny.
And the idea is
money's
like
the same, though.
Granny goes into Walmart to buy her grandkid a movie and is like, "Oh, I heard about this ballerina movie or
Yeah.
the nun movie." And
I sent Doug, Ellen. I was at Dollar Tree one day, and they used to have a little DVD section. I don't know if they still do.
Yeah, just
I'd
a
go to
basket.
just like a basket, and I pull out one of the things, and it says "old people entourage," And it's like
Whoa!
like these
I'm
old
interested.
women.
I'm sold.
Yeah, and I said that to Doug. I was like, dude, look how far you've come. Like, yeah, there's a following. I mean, there's a market for it. Your dad just bought how many fucking Blu-rays from Hobby Lobby?
Hobby Lobby.
Or
He
what
bought
was
it
it?
from
Big Lots, Big Lots.
Big Lots.
But like, yeah, and it's all those like really like, oh man, there was one that it's so lame, but it's this like almost like karate film, and they're standing all like important with a white background and all that, and then
Senior Entourage, that's what it's called.
why do they
at
look
this
like
shit.
Lloyd Kaufman?
What's the rating on that one?
Karate.
Yeah, no, the karate one. But like, if you didn't know what Mission Impossible looks like, and you just saw that one, the tagline is like, "When a mission's impossible," and
They
then
call
under,
them,
and
or
then in
what?
smaller letters, they call him. Like,
What is
Anyway.
it called? What's it called? Anyway,
Anyway,
the
well,
endless
the-
is not this.
The endless
by the
method.
way,
and this is like one of the last things that I want to kind of mention is one of the things that if you're in the film industry long enough, you're gonna find people you work with really well.
definitely.
And obviously, these two guys,
Yeah.
they work well together, and they've stayed together on.
Well
I think they've
said.
worked on independent stuff, but they also said we know the people we work well together with.
I wonder if they I don't know, how old are these dudes? Got to be what?
Freaking younger than me.
35,
One's
maybe.
83, one's 87. I'm sorry.
Born.
years.
Man, so they're in senior
like,
entourage
wow.
too.
They are really well.
drinking
No,
that
I
beer.
wonder. Like, I think about the Daniels a lot, right? The Daniels, if no one would have given them the shot, they would have still made creative good shit. I think,
yeah.
but they just made the Oscar winner of last year, 2 years ago, or whatever. You know, like, I wonder if quote unquote the man ever gave these two a shot. What would they do with it? Because it's not a money thing. It's a can you carry a studio picture still with your creative endeavors?
I don't think they're studio. Well, until they got into Marvel, I don't think they were studio. I think
That's
they're
my
just
Yeah.
totally
point. Is
independent.
will it change if they don't have restraints?
What do you mean?
Will anything change?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Will
you
they
know,
make a bigger picture?
Well, we
Will they
just
make something
recently
that reaches?
talked to-
Let's face it, though the endless is good, it doesn't reach the masses. It won't. That's kind of how it's designed, right? Will
what's
they
the
make
DP that Kevin always worked with?
David Klein?
David Klein. I feel like it's similar to that. I feel like, sure, under no budgets, you practice the skill as best you can, and then at a certain point in time, you start developing like the style. You even under the restraints, you
Absolutely.
develop what you enjoy, and then the budget is like at the right point in your own trajectory. That's when it's like the budget
Mark-
means you can maximize.
Mark
you know?
my words. I think the Marvel TV stuff for them is their intermediate. I think they're probably. I don't think they're going to get a Marvel film because Marvel's on its way out. I think Marvel's on its way out.
Calling it.
Not out, but less. Yeah.
Not out, but yeah.
I think
Down.
whatever. I don't know if it's a franchise thing. I don't know. Like, there's so many franchises that are being revisited. For instance, the 007 franchise just got taken over by somebody.
Amazon.
Yeah, but the director. There's a director at the helm now that is. just,
All I know is they went back and they edited all the guns out of.
Oh,
the
there you go.
posters, and
Who
I'm
is
like,
it?
Really? Seriously? Come on, guys.
there's a director that took over that people are excited about. Like at one point, Nolan was thinking about taking over 007.
Yeah, I read that.
Oh, I'd like that.
Yeah, they were talking about that for a while. But anyways, my point is that they're revisiting properties, whether it's Marvel or something else. I think that there will be a time for these guys. They're still young. You know what I'm saying? They're still relatively young. I think this Marvel TV stuff might be a better springboard. I think they might be ready for something
Rick wants
some
to pull
bigger
up his-
responsibility.
The other
Pull up yours, Rick.
Wait,
00.
is that the actual
Zero.
poster?
I don't think
No.
this. I think this is probably a TV.
Code
thing.
name Bond.
that's a
Road to a
No,
Million.
this is a TV series.
No, it's
There's
double-
a film that's being developed right now. They just
but
signed on
here's-
the actor. Who did they? Idris Elba? No, or
Here's something
They've
that
been thinking about.
we have to keep in mind as people that are producing television and film. The way people watch television and film is changing.
Yeah,
massively.
absolutely.
And the industry, you guys know, we have friends that are like, we have nothing to do because there's not enough work.
Yeah, let me toss this out there, and I think just in connection with the indie versus what these guys may or may not do. I've talked to 3 different studio people in the past month, and I've talked to indie producers who we're currently working with. Nobody. I called this. You can go back to podcasts from a year ago, 2 years ago. We are in the Wild West again. We are in the
Agreed.
1969. The studios have to let all tours take over again for shit to rectify itself. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. The studios are all like, we'll admit it to you, Carlos. We don't know which way is up right now. We don't know what the hell's going to happen. And then indie producers are kind of like, we get to dictate our own thing right now because nobody's calling the shots. So we kind of get to say, hey, you need this because there's nothing happening right now. It's a pretty encouraging time in a sense.
The last year that I was in Dallas, I always was on this school trip that took students to Los Angeles. And we had a connection with an executive at, I'm going to say a studio for now. We'll talk about it in a second. He cast a very influential newcomer into a really large movie. That's all I'm going to say about that. But he came to talk to the students, and he said he had literally just come from a meeting. This is like 2016, 2017. He had just come from a meeting where all of the executives from this major studio had been together, and they said, "What the heck is going on?
Because they have
we don't know
conferences.
what to do."
They get together.
It was Fox.
Uh-huh.
And this was before they sold to Disney. And even back in 2017, they were like, "We don't know what's going on with streaming. We can't crack this."
Look at the conversations we're having now. Warner Brothers has a big for sale sign on it at the moment.
Yep.
That everybody's fighting for. Netflix, Universal, and Paramount are currently trying to buy. It was Fox. They're currently trying to buy Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is saying, fuck it. And this is the weirdest time. We're going to more than likely get to witness the end of the studio system as a whole.
Yep.
In a really strange way. And it's the saddest fucking thing in the world.
But that's not possible.
Oh no, yeah, it is. Well,
Dude.
it's
Think about the Big Five. The Big Five don't exist anymore as the Big Five. The Big Five were Disney, Fox, Universal, Warner Brothers, and Paramount. Well, Fox is owned by Disney now.
You wouldn't put Netflix in there now?
No. Now,
no.
the original Big
My
Five,
bad,
the
yeah,
Big
yeah.
Five, the Big Five studios, right? Disney, Universal, Sony,
Sony.
Paramount, and Warner Brothers. Disney owns Fox now. Warner Brothers is for sale. Sony technically absorbed MGM, and then Amazon bought MGM. So now Amazon owns MGM. They're going away. Like Netflix, I'm positive that Netflix is going to be the buyer for Warner Brothers. I'm positive that's what's going to happen. Paramount can't front that bill.
Didn't they throw like 3 bids and they got rejected?
Yeah,
already?
but Paramount's also just did a big merger with Skydance.
yep.
So these companies are going away, man, and it's the saddest fucking thing, but it is the reality.
And something random side note. Somebody was asking me. One of my students was asking, like, why did Netflix put Frankenstein in the movie theaters for like 2 weeks?
Well, he told me
Academy Award
to make a round.
Status.
Academy Award eligibility
Eligible, yeah.
depends on that. That's kind of a side note.
Kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of.
Films are
The pandemic changed that. They changed those rules
They
during the
did
pandemic.
change the stipulations
Yes.
that
So-
I
now.
think it's back though now.
You
isn't
know,
No.
you want to know my theory?
Well, that's why they.
Del Toro's got pulled. Del Toro will never not premiere a film in the cinema. They just
Also-
it? I
won't.
agree with that.
Also, Stage Runner, they did
I like
a
Stage
little,
Runner.
yeah, they just did a little piece on it that they were saying that as much as that Netflix has said, oh, the theaters are an outdated
Yeah.
concept and an outdated.
That's Rando's pulled back on that so fucking fast.
They're an outdated concept and people don't use them anymore and all that. They can see that when it comes to films like these, especially like Frankenstein, and they even had it with
anime thing.
K-pop Demon Hunter, which we can talk about if you'd like.
No, fuck off. This is like the 5th episode. We talk about this shit.
But with like those films, releasing them in theaters ended up being very profitable.
I
And
love that movie.
It's
Yeah.
a
haven't seen it.
billboard.
It's a
The
good movie.
cinema
Right
right now is a billboard. Let me put it to you this way. I went to go screen Frankenstein at the Chinese theater on a Monday or a Tuesday. I think it was Monday.
yeah, because the first day you watched K-pop Demon Hunters.
On the Monday, I screened it at the Chinese theater. That Friday, Del Toro came with a Q&A. They did a drone show. They did fireworks. They did a whole thing on Hollywood Boulevard at the Chinese theater. That Friday. This blew up on social media, got people to the theaters, and then right ahead of its Netflix premiere this last weekend. It's a billboard. The cinema is a billboard again.
And it makes money.
And it makes money.
It makes money, and I mean, like, sure, you have people subscribing onto streaming services,
Yeah.
but putting it in theaters is what really has a boom when it comes to like financial gain.
That's why, if you can, I just had a conversation with a local theater owner on the radio. The Fountain Theater. The Fountain Theater in Mesilla. Their whole purpose, they're a nonprofit essentially, and they're just screening independent cinema. That doesn't just mean local, regional, state. Like they're doing local cinema, and they're doing Richard Linklater's Nouvelle Vague.
How do they get profit then?
They don't. It's a nonprofit theater. They just
Kinda
keep the
kinda
lights
like
on.
the Smodcast.
Okay.
Smodcastle.
Yeah, as long as they can keep the lights on, that's kind of the
But
point.
something else that we have to remember. I say this as someone that is a 7-year-old. Ricky, I'm sure you know this with your kids too. They're not watching television and movies the way
Oh, that's
we were.
interesting.
My daughter
interesting.
would rather watch YouTubers.
Yeah.
Freaking
Don't
hate
even
them.
say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
them.
The
I don't
whole,
Kids playing with toys, right?
yeah,
Well,
like,
on
she's
wrapping
in
stuff.
gymnast right now, so it's gymnastics.
but I mean, I remember that like back in the day, and all of us had it where you would throw on the TV and you would sit through the commercials and
Yeah.
everything like that,
Yeah.
and you'd spend like hours there. And
I'll toss this out there.
Going to the movies was a big deal.
yeah,
I'll toss this out there. Everybody in this room knows that we were pitching this property. We're still pitching it, but at the time,
Sony, listen up.
yeah. No, I pitched to Sony. But at the time, we were exploring this because the people we were pitching to were searching for young adult. This was 4 years ago that we started kind of this process. Young adult, young adult, young adult. And we were kind of like, okay, I don't know that we categorize this, but if you see it in those eyes, maybe we can explore a version of this.
Really, they said that?
Yes. So we're like, I don't know. And then this was one company. And then we started thinking, why this fascination in young adult? And that's what they kept saying in the meetings. And they were like, yeah, this could be this, but it could also be this. And then I was talking to Kevin Smith, and he's currently got called. I won't say what because it's not public yet, for a property that maybe
told
us us four, Austin, our generation grew up on, a cartoon that we love, that we kind of grew up on.
Yep.
And he's exploring that because a studio wants to revamp it into a live action series. And he says, you know why? And I never told Kevin, or I hadn't told him yet about this thing that we're pitching. He's like, they keep screaming young adult, man. He's like, and you know why? He's like, they're smartening up. They're realizing that the kids who were watching this when they were kids have kids now. So now
that's
it's a
what's-
double banger.
That's why Stranger Things exists now. It's for
Right.
people my age that grew up in the 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
That now have a little bit of disposable income.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
I
who
heard
have
the same
adult money
thing-
who could buy dumb shit.
I
Yeah.
heard the same thing with like radio, where like when I was taking audio with Pat.
Yeah,
Um,
Pat Petrowski, man.
I love
Shout
Pat.
out.
But Pat always talked about like, oh, have you ever listened to the radio and feel like, oh, this music sucks, it's not for me? He says, give it a couple of years. Once you become the age that you're the ones paying for it, then DJs and everybody are going to start shifting the music towards what you like. And
Yeah.
like, I know that like with Meg, she says that she listens to the radio and it's like, oh, every song's a banger. But for a while, it's like, oh man, it's just like what my family would listen to,
Right.
you know? And it's that whole thing that like as we're hitting that correct age of nostalgia, which is like, again, like 90s now. Like 90s
Yeah.
is kind of coming back as like a nostalgic thing.
On
Then, yeah.
nostalgia, yeah, we live in a nostalgic state. They're hitting all of our likes, right? Like even
Yeah.
Ooh,
stuff
yes.
from the '80s. Ghostbusters made a comeback for a bit. Like different
They're
types of
working
shit.
on another one, but they are working on another film.
Hopefully, it's
kind of-
Reitman.
I don't know. I think it will be. But
was
here's
fun.
but here's something that we also have to keep in mind as people that are interested in filmmaking is we can't really be thinking about what's our next project that we're making. What are we going to be making in 5 years? I say this as someone. I know you guys are going to make fun of me for this. I'm shooting a vertical series right now, which is interesting.
No,
I
it
never
is.
thought I would shoot vertical.
I
before.
helped.
You did help. Dale was awesome. But the way people are engaging content and the way
Yeah.
they're consuming content
changing
is
by the day.
changing. Verticals are huge.
Yeah, they're
Drew was
huge.
saying-
They're huge in other countries. They're
No,
huge.
they're huge here.
Bigger in other.
No,
bigger
doesn't
in
want
other
it.
countries.
No.
At the El Paso Film Festival, they had a whole panel about where it devolved.
It's here, brother.
Changed into verticals. Austin, Texas. There's a company that they shot 5 vertical series, the equivalent of 5 feature films,
Right.
vertical, in
vertical.
a year.
Yeah.
in
No,
Austin.
they're shooting them quick and cheap. But my point with it is that this came off of a trend in China. China is
But it's not
consuming
going
a
anywhere.
massive amount of vertical media.
But
You know what I
we're
learned
consuming that
recently?
too.
You know what I
We're
learned
getting
recently?
there. It's not. It's marginal compared to what China numbers are doing.
Real quick, who right now demographic wise, like, who are the biggest demographic for gamers? And this will all tie back. Like,
Stream like
yeah, people that play games. Like, who's the biggest demographic right now?
20 to 30-year-olds.
Male, female.
Male. Mostly male.
Thoughts?
older, well, a little older,
What do you think?
30s to 40s.
Nah, I think 20s.
The current highest demographic, if I'm not mistaken,
36.
average 36. I've seen older, but women. Like women in their like late 40s to early 60s are the highest demographic
Whoa.
of like gamers. But it's because that's counting people who play those little like Candy Crush games and the Facebook games and all that kind
just
of stuff.
reminds me
Yeah.
of that just reminds me of the old lady in Ready Player One. You know, she's like
Yeah.
flipping off her couch and shit like that.
Female majority in the U.S. And what happens
Wow.
is that again, the landscape has changed where like at first gaming used to be seen as like a very juvenile thing on the TV, so it's like kids would get on it.
Yeah.
But now it's for all
the
these
kids
older women
grew
that
up.
like again would watch the soap operas or waiting
No,
for
it's
clothes
an
to
interesting
clean.
factor. But when I see verticals, when you see any
But
verticals,
that's
they're soap operas. They're
And that's the
bite-sized chunks that you don't
demographic
have to
that's
think
catching
about.
on,
Right.
you know?
And here's the other
That's
other
a weird
flip side
thing.
of that is projecting things out. I don't remember. I read an article years ago when I was in film school when they talked about you don't need to project what's coming out this year. You need to project what's coming out. What's the trend going to be in 5 years?
Yep.
And what I think about that when I think of vertical, you guys remember Quibi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quibi was a gigantic push in the film industry.
Yeah.
It had Steven Spielberg. It had tons of people with
Yeah.
big money producing these movies that were shot vertically,
Yeah.
and it failed
Yeah,
miserably
for sure.
because the timing wasn't right.
Everything, but it's like everything. It's 3D, it's vertical, it's VR. All the shit that people thought was the next big thing, and it didn't end up being the next big thing.
Online gambling.
That's still
No,
a
that's
big
still a
thing.
thing.
No, but I'll say this to kind of tie this up. But I think
Also, I have my segment.
I personally, though, you're right. You have to think about essentially a lot of these vertical filmmakers too are exploring what trends are coming up the next few years.
But you can't see vertical in the theater, can you?
No, absolutely.
No, the
not.
whole
So
concept.
that's-
The
No,
whole
no, no, but
concept
my-
of
or on
vertical.
TV.
My
real quick,
point-
the whole concept of vertical. Just to clarify for him, and then you can continue the point.
Yeah, my bad.
Is just people who like to consume videos just on your phone. So people
It's
like
the TikTok
us right now
generation, dude. It's-
that
So
we
I'm
watch
kinda with
like.
him.
Well, it's like we do it all the time. We watch these little
100%.
skits on like reels and
No,
all that
I've
kind
gotten
of stuff.
caught up enough. And by the way, I've gotten caught up in the same one because I refuse to watch the whole thing. But I got caught up in the same clip of the thing that caught my attention of some chick who like walks in a room and then her boyfriend's on the other side of the wall, but she's talking to his friend who they're basically talking like they cheated and the boyfriend's on the other side of the wall. Like it's fucking candy, man. It's entertaining, but it's not good for you. Like cinematically. My point to all this is that in my personal opinion, yes, you want to get your foot through the door. You want to catch people's attention. You pay attention to certain trends that might be happening. However, in my personal opinion, aim for timeless. Aim for something that's just going to be a good story because ultimately you don't
Damn,
know
I
what
do agree
direction
with that.
anything's going to
Stories-
fucking head in.
Story
It-
is king. Story is king.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like McConaughey says in Wolf of Wall Street. Whoever tells you that they know where the industry is going is bullshit. They're bullshit. They're bullshitting you. They're lying. It's like the stock market. They don't know whether it's going up, down, or it's fairy dust. Nobody
comparison.
fucking knows where the industry is going. I had 3 leading studios tell me the exact same thing. And if they and on the quiet, right? I'm not going to name their names, but didn't tell me to say this. And indie producers saying
it was
dude,
RKO,
we're
wasn't
kind of just doing our thing because we can now. There's nothing dictating what we're going to do because nobody knows what they want. So you have to convince them this is the next thing.
Well,
so, anyways.
in that note, and
Sentiment.
not to wrap up the podcast, but like in the
No,
note,
we should probably wrap up the
well, no, there's a few more things that we got to do, but I'll say I like that this part of Sci-Fi Month has really been around like Head. I think you
Indie
picked,
cinema.
You picked great films, especially for like indie cinema, and I feel like when anytime we talk about like sci-fi, I think
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about The Matrix.
yeah,
right? Like,
we
that
talk
was-
about these high concept,
Which
but
is a
also
movie I like.
It's a good film. It's
high
just-
concept but high budget. You know,
Right.
like I mean, it cost a lot. At least for me, I always felt like, man, to make a good sci-fi movie, you need to put a lot into
You need
it.
the Wachowskis. and
Yeah, you need like Star Trek. Star Trek is like to me a key example of like science fiction where it's kind of like, oh man, like the sets and everything.
Yeah.
But everything that we've watched all could be made within that
Absolutely.
$1 million and less range
Yeah.
and effectively do storytelling.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we talked about one being like a Primer. That was a winner at Sundance, right?
By
On
the
a
way,
$7,000
if you
budget.
think about Endless, we were talking about kind of one location. Endless is basically one location.
One camp.
It's
one,
a camp,
Yeah.
but it's basically one location, and then you walk around the woods a little bit.
Yeah,
Which is a
absolutely.
way to save money.
Yeah, it's
Filmed in
super
California, by
impressive.
the way.
The Wachowskis.
Sorry, I was just curious what their filmography was before that.
But,
Before The
Cloud
Matrix?
Atlas.
The Bound was the only one.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And then, yeah, what is it? The
Sense8.
Speed Racer.
That was a good
Yeah.
TV series.
Anyways, yeah, I think there's something interesting to be had. There's an interesting conversation to be had in sci-fi and whether genre dictates certain aspects and what tropes you can
It's a
fall in
thinker.
and out of. And I think it's interesting. I think we talk about tropes all the time and how frustrating tropes can be. And I think this is pretty refreshing to get back to a place where indie cinema can redefine the form.
And I know you didn't care for didn't really care for the like character side of things or the dialogue.
I cared for the character side of things. I don't. I think the dialogue was a little weak.
Needed some punch-ups.
But that, to me, that's something that sci-fi can do. It can address those kind of interesting scenarios in a unique way, like something that I had never. I caught a bunch of stuff on this viewing I'd never noticed before, but it's that whole idea of you're living in a time loop. Aren't they living in a time loop outside, just doing the same awful day over and over again? And how does that reflect our world?
Yeah.
Looper. What's that other one? The Tom Cruise one.
Live, Die, Repeat.
Live, Die, Repeat.
dude.
Or Edge of Tomorrow, depending on who
Edge
you
of
talk to.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow.
As Emily
Great
Blunt.
ending.
Yeah, interesting. But again, those are big sci-fi
100% that one.
films, similar concepts.
And that, in Live, Die, Repeat was based on an anime.
Right.
Or a manga.
A manga. Yeah. Again, there's definitely a conversation to be had. Oh man, I like that Solaris is in there. That's really cool. Because it's very much a sci-fi film. Anyways, yeah, I go watch The Endless. Check it out.
Yes, it's definitely worth it.
interesting. It's worth a watch. And keep a lookout for these dudes. I think they might do something. It's clear that they're still in the industry. They're still working. They're still doing stuff. And I'm kind of excited for when they have less restraints.
By the way, before we wrap it up, I did watch something for once.
Oh.
What'd you
Superman.
watch? James Gunn's Superman.
James Gunn Superman.
What'd you think?
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.
What'd you think? Did everybody here watch it?
Give me a quick rating on that one.
Quick rating on that one. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
What did you give Man of Steel?
I gave that one, I think, like a 9.5. At
Right,
the time,
it's just-
that one was like my favorite superhero movie ever. For a
I'm
little
glad you
while,
said
I think
that.
that was like my favorite movie. Like,
Yeah.
I loved it.
What was it? Just because this new one's a little bit more comic, but the Man of Steel was a little bit more.
It was like serious, and then
Yeah.
but I also heard somebody talking about how there's a lot of like the biggest flaw that they felt with Man of Steel is that it's constantly Superman.
Michael Shannon.
It's constantly Superman being constipated and not wanting to do anything, and constantly like, no, I can't.
He's not
no.
Superman for like 3/4 of the movie.
So like it's like I can understand that being a very awkward point, but I think it was the first time I saw a superhero movie where it wasn't just like. I mean, I remember growing up and my reference for superhero movie was like Batman and Robin and like, oh my God, just goofy.
That's okay. I have friends who felt the fifth grade
When he
also.
Flintstones done it.
Listen,
nipples.
I saw James Gunn in L.A. He
Really?
was he did a keynote.
Did you ask him how he's doing?
I didn't like the new Superman.
I didn't. I
I didn't like it.
I just had
I thought
fun.
it felt like a TV movie.
No, but I had
didn't dig
fun with
in
it.
the
Like I
slightest.
agree. It felt like a CW
It
thing.
felt like a CW
But
thing, and I liked
yeah.
the Flash on the CW.
But
It was
I
fine.
also liked the change of pace from everything else, and it's because like the Zack Snyder stuff. I felt
it's
after
super dark. Right?
It's super
serious.
dark.
That's
But
what I like
but the
about it.
big issue I heard with Zack Snyder is that like he always has these moments where there's supposed to be these cool like big antithesis moments, but he keeps
Yeah.
repeating it over and over. Where every 5 minutes
Yeah.
it's a slow mo, just so we can really absorb this moment. Where
I
it's like
remember-
you should do that like once in your film,
Right.
not 5 times. You
I
know?
remember having this conversation with a buddy of mine, and he's a big superhero, like comic book, like knows the canon for the comic book stuff. I guess I remember my era of superhero being James Gunn and Guardians for me was a game changer. I loved Guardians. I loved all three. I was personally a big fan of all three. But Frank Miller for me. Frank Miller and what he was doing, and obviously Nolan did the Dark Knight series and shit like that. But comic books like that, Sin City, Watchmen, like that to me was
Watchmen.
good comic book films. And The Dark Knight, and I guess kind of like what this dude, Matt Reeves, is doing now. I kind of wanted more of that. I was digging that. It felt like a good balance.
Yeah.
It wasn't as dark as, Snyder,
Matt
but
Reeves,
it wasn't
like-
fucking CW. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't dig
I'm
it.
just saying with the Superman, like that's why I say 7.5. Like I had fun, and I
Yeah.
feel like it's been a long time since I've been able to watch any kind of like hero film and have fun, just because it feels oversaturated and it's doing the same formula. Like
I like
had-
this actor, by the way. This dude,
Yeah.
he
did
came
a
out
good
in a
job.
series, a Ryan Murphy series called Hollywood on Netflix.
Oh, wow.
Which was terrific. Such a great show. And he's the lead in it. He's a good actor. I liked him. David Cornsweet.
It's good. To me, I would rate it higher than like I also watched Thunderbolts, and Thunderbolts.
Forgot he was in Pearl. He was the shitty, weird projectionist in Pearl.
Wow.
The weirdo.
They said
Anybody watch
Thunderbolts
Pearl?
is pretty good.
Thunderbolts is good. compared to everything else that's out right now.
Yeah.
That's not really saying much.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Thunderbolt's probably 6'5". Like, I mean, it was like I laughed, but I mean, it's also like, come on, dude. Like, it's just.
Anybody else watch anything worth noting before we sign off here?
I watched the first episode of the new series from the creators of Breaking Bad called
Vince Gilligan?
Pluribus.
Give me something that I could work with so I could
It is
get into it.
weird.
Into the Plumbus?
It is Vince Gilligan.
It's
8.9
weird.
IMDb.
It's
I don't know how to feel about this actress. I mean, she's good.
she's pretty good, but watch it. It's worth a watch. It's weird.
I'll toss
I
this
don't
out
know
there.
what's going.
wow,
I don't know
I
what's
think-
going on with it, but it's.
I think
It's interesting.
Apple Plus is doing the most sophisticated shit right now. I think Apple Plus is.
They're doing
They got
really
some
high
good TV
concept,
shows,
high
yeah.
five
They're doing
stuff.
good shit.
Foundation for All Mankind. They're doing a
Yeah.
whole bunch of really high. They're
I like the
kind
morning
of
show.
their
I like the
niche
Jason-
has been sci-fi.
Yeah, the Shrinking.
Hey,
I never finished it.
It's pretty good.
I like Severance. That was pretty
Severance, Ted Lasso. I mean, they're Ted Lasso. Yeah, they're doing.
Not exclusively sci-fi, but they're doing a lot.
I know
of
that this
sci-fi.
is like a big just side thing, and I promise this will be like my last tangent and we can end it. Can you look up the poster for The Shining?
The series?
No, the movie.
He's probably going to think it's kind of like that one.
Didn't they just remake it into a series?
No, the one on the left, the yellow with. I just watched
Oh,
an essay on it.
Room 247.
Yeah, no, an essay on it, and it wasn't Room 247. They just finally revealed who the face is.
yeah.
Do you know who it is?
Who is it?
It's Danny.
So
but-
what?
What's really cool about it is that they got this really, really talented graphic designer who focused in pointillism, and they didn't show him a frame of the film. They asked him to make a poster without having any idea of what it was, and that's what he
Interesting.
came up with. And he came up with these faces of, again, like the whole idea is that there's this like infinite terror that like there it's impossible to escape. And like anything you do, you're just in danger's way. He came up with this void of Kubrick's like filmmaking, and like apparently this is supposed to be the face of Danny, but it's just a very interesting parallel because if you look in the movie, there's a very similar like frame, but like they were completely separate.
What was the cover of the book? What did the cover of the book look like?
Is it bad that I was not impressed with The Shining?
Same, dude.
A lot of
Get
people
outta
say
here,
that.
bro.
I agree.
and-
Comment on how
I
wrong
agree
they are.
wholeheartedly.
Comment right now how wrong they
That's
are.
the original cover of The Shining?
Stephen King, just
That looks
big
whack.
plastic.
That looks
Yeah.
like if Wes Anderson made a Stephen King book.
Oh,
like
your
if,
face,
hey,
Delo.
Ricky, if you look up alternative Shining designs or poster designs, like the artist apparently made like hundreds of different things because Kubrick was being a dick and be like, ew, no,
course.
try
or
harder.
picky, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go the carpet one.
I don't think they're gonna
Carpet
show
one's
it.
pretty
No,
good.
but like
And
it's
even
on
the-
that
the
pointillism
maze.
style, and he honestly came up with like some beautiful ones.
That's
But,
cool.
Oh, like that hand one. That hand one was an alternative, and Kubrick thought it was lame. So like,
It's interesting. Yeah, it's like
was
the sand.
weird.
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it's really cool. Anyway,
Yeah,
I
'cause
saw
it's a
that
normal
recently.
film. No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Anyway, you guys are awesome.
For the
I don't
next,
thank you guys enough for being so cool.
For the next episode, I want you guys
Like, wink
to
at me. when you
think of a pet peeve that you see on a movie. You gotta watch a movie and tell me there's a pet peeve that you don't like about
Oh,
it.
I hate time loops. Fucking suck.
I'll say one. I saw House of Dynamite. There was this one scene as an actor. There's one scene. I hate when people can't act when they're eating or smoking. When you can tell like that guy doesn't smoke or
Right.
yeah, there's you don't want how
Who
people
did it?
smoke.
Idris Elba or who was the one?
No, it was just this character. I guess he's a big character, but he's in like the what is it? The Situation Room, and he's just acting like he's eating some chips. I'm like, I've never seen someone go like that. Like if it's popcorn or something.
I think it's
Big
also.
pet peeve of mine. My
I
bad.
think it's
fair.
also the fact that like sometimes in the script it's written that they're doing all this action, but they never cut off when they stop eating or start eating. So it's kind of like that weird.
Yeah.
Oh, eats chips and then goes into a monologue. And
The
it's like,
the
am I?
master.
Well,
And I
just to-
wonder, Castro, you might be able to actually speak on this as an actor because I wonder if part of that is because they're filming this stuff for hours.
Yes, and they got a
And they
spit
don't.
bucket.
They have a spit bucket.
Yeah.
where the actors will chew it and then spit it out.
I've seen
'Cause
other
you
actors-
don't want them eating for.
Oh, Castro
12
remembers
hours.
the spit bucket on the MREs.
No, yeah, but as an actor, you kind of
Really?
you understand how to do it.
You just like
Repetitively.
The
after,
master
like,
of
a
this was
12-hour
Billy
day-
Wilder. Billy Wilder was the master of this. Billy Wilder was the guy who started giving actors things to do, specifically smoking and playing cards.
You know what?
That's the only reason actors are playing cards in the films, because they need something to do so that it looks real. That's
You know
it.
one where I was impressed that I just watched? Frankenstein.
Del
With
Toro's.
Isaac with the ball.
With the ball.
He's
that
giving
was
a whole
impressive.
speech while throwing the
Super
ball
impressive.
up in the air.
Wait, who was making fun of him in an interview for it? Bill Hader. Bill
was he
Hader
making fun of him?
interviewed Del Toro and Oscar Isaac in some Q&A.
But
And
it's
Bill
good.
Hader was like, I fucking called Oscar Isaac the minute I saw it and was like, dude, I can't do that shit with a ball. Like, I'll
'Cause-
just start thinking about the fucking ball while
While
I'm
giving
acting.
one of the most
Yeah.
important speeches in the film. It's like,
genuinely, dude, very impressive.
wow, that's
Uh,
an actor.
I'll tell
actor.
you. I'll tell you a personal pet peeve.
Yes.
See that for a second? Is there anything?
No.
Okay. Personal pet peeve of mine is when actors are doing like this with a cup, and it's like, oh, I'm drinking something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a personal pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
because nobody actually just like is very like
No, you gotta like
Loud about
insinuate the
drinking.
water going in.
You have
know.
to actually act like it has something in it.
Exactly.
Not just-
Yeah.
no. That's a lot of student films will also do that where I've
The
seen
alarm
them
clock.
where like they'll say, oh, he's sitting at a desk drinking whiskey. But you could tell that nobody there is drinking whiskey or has drank whiskey before.
Exactly.
And it's that whole gag
Yeah.
of like, oh, it's going to be a rough night. And they're chugging. And you're like,
I know that's
Where's the-
iced tea,
where's
dude.
the
Don't
hit?
fuck around. with me.
I had that with one of the early films that I helped out on. I don't even know where it's at anymore. But I remember the whole scene was that there was this guy who like had a rough night. He walked in and he's sitting down. It was a student short we did for like class.
Right.
And he's like, oh man, just line me up. And then they pass him a glass, and the glass is full all the way with whiskey. And then he's
That's a
like,
whiskey
oh,
drinker.
it's gonna be a cold day in hell. And I remember like going up to the director because at the time I was already like 23, and I was like, hey, how much whiskey do you think they pour in a glass? And he's like, well, he's had a rough night. I'm like, no, no, like if you went to a bar right
the
now,
rough night
You know
amount.
what a finger
That's
of
true.
whiskey
Now,
it was
you
like
know
if
that.
you went to a bar right now and ordered a shot of whiskey, like how much do you think they would give you? And like he's like, I don't know. And then like we were filming at a bar, so then I went to the bartender and I said, I'm gonna pay for this. Here, just give me a shot of whiskey. And I was
Nice.
like, that's what it looks like. So
Then he drank it in front of the director.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
know.
"Do better."
It's heavy. It's
yeah,
a
we were
kick.
shooting at a
Yeah.
bar by UTEP, and I was like, that's what it looks like. And then they're like, oh man. And he's like, well, is that like half? And I'm like, no, dude, like that's like that's
it's
what it
called
looks
two
like.
fingers.
Is
Like
that where your bartending obsession
Called
came
two
from?
fingers of whiskey for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Nice. nice.
Mine's lamer. Mine's lamer. I think for me it's delivery. Bad delivery of a line, and sometimes you either blame that on the actor or on the dialogue itself.
In what way?
If it's a cheesy line, if it's a cheesy line that the actor cannot make better, you can't you can polish a turd so much, but
no, Dad, I want to dance better.
right, yeah, like or if it's the delivery of the actor of like saying it in the most cliche way possible, like those are the things.
Well,
that get me.
nighttime's a dangerous place.
Yeah,
I just want you guys to watch a film and try to like notice something that, why didn't they catch that?
so nitpicks.
It'll be fun. I think that's a fun new bit to try out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
I'm pretty sure a
Thank
lot
you,
of people have
guys.
seen that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for sticking around.
One more
Can
film.
I do one more pet peeve?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is something that like on the lower end of production type of stuff. When an actor says his lines and he says them like this.
William Shatner.
It's like, dude, you're not William Shatner. Please just say the line.
Almost like
I dig it.
robotic.
And the edit, I end up going in and I cut out all those.
You cut out the just put B-roll
we need-
over
we need
his
something on top of
empty
this.
space.
I'm with you on that.
Well, one more film for Sci-Fi Month next week. Thank you to Mr. Head for curating these last two pictures.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
Great picks. Go watch these films. Go watch Primer. Go
Definitely
watch
worth it. Definitely worth it.
The Endless. Go
We only
watch The
have
Lobster.
One more film after this, no?
That's what I just said. One more film to go.
Which one is it? I don't even know.
Fritz Lang's Metropolis. We're going to talk about
dude,
Fritz
I've
Lang's
been-
Metropolis next week.
Been on my
Silent
bucket
picture.
list.
Get your
This
ears
film
ready.
like blew my mind the minute I've seen it. Like this film, like there's a reason why it's held up, and just the beautiful story behind this, the commentary on society, the
can't wait
projection
to-
for the
yes.
future, which
I saw
kind of
the
helped.
shittiest cut of
the
Metropolis,
techniques.
and it was still.
That was
wow.
still incredible.
Still incredible.
The production design, everything. Just Fritz Lang was a
What year is
genius
it?
ahead of its time.
27?
1927, the same year the
special
first
effects- the
talkie
special
came
effects
out.
and everything
Yeah.
were amazing.
nice.
It's fucking bonkers.
Beautiful. And again, The Jazz Singer came out the same year. First year Talkies came out. This was a silent picture, and it's incredible.
Gorgeous.
Such a gorgeous film.
Hell yeah.
Metropolis next week, and then we're going to jump into our Christmas picks. It's going to be a fun time.
Yay.
So thank you for tuning into the Watchtower Film Podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and to share. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Good
Love you
night,
guys.
everybody. Quick, give your best mysterious thing impersonation.
I like